Hello, beautiful people. Let's talk that talk at Kunjani Wine Farms, the first black female-owned winery in South Africa.
That was the one.
So, a disclaimer for episode 5, part 2, where we speak about women's issues and how women are treated within the workplace. I just wanted to say something about how women are discussed in the episode. So, within the colonial narratives and within colonial binaries of gender, there are only two recognized genders, male and female. And within the workplace, you can definitely see and feel the discrimination between anybody who identifies outside of those binaries. And within this episode, we are speaking about how women are stereotyped and how they are put in a box of what a woman should be. And we are discussing, of course, the role that women play when they are pregnant, but we are also not excluding other genders who are also able to be pregnant, or actually, let me just say, we are not excluding genders who are able to conceive. We are not excluding anybody who identifies as male and is pregnant or as gender non-conforming. I myself am always trying to be inclusive within my activism, so I just felt the need to add a disclaimer in case there is somebody who feels that the way that we have spoken about women has been quite binary and has been quite colonial. It was intentional, and I just want to say to my queer fam and to people who are breaking the binaries with gender, I am here for it, I am here for you, and we are here together to dismantle the patriarchy.
Okay, so let's just go to the first topic, which is sexism in the workplace. The first point is overt and covert sexism, and then also policies in place to protect women. And I must say that this is something that we spoke about when we had our Zoom meeting like months ago. And it was definitely something that I remember we spoke about, that there should be policies in place for women and for, marginalized groups. We can't have we can't only have things in place once, racism has occurred or once sexism has occurred, but we need preventative methods and systems in place to prevent those things from happening.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that, people who run the system are not gonna take it seriously until something does happen. So that's why there aren't policies, and it's like there has to be something that happens. Someone has to go through something in order for something to happen, which really sucks. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, and it feels like, because it's again speaking from a place of privilege and acting from a place of privilege, because it doesn't immediately affect you, and it doesn't immediately affect the organization and the people who run those organizations. So why should they put things in place that don't affect them, obviously?
Yeah, but it does affect them. I mean, in the long run, because then you look at the organization and you say, okay, who's this for? What is this?
Yeah.
This doesn't fit into, where society is right now and the people that it's supposed to be for, because...
I think when you just ask the question of, but who does it serve to leave out policies that protect women, then you get to the answer, who are we actually protecting? Like, who's running this industry? If there is an industry that is run by women, there will immediately be policies in place to protect women. That is the first thing that we will check. We won't be complaining when someone is pregnant and you have to sort out maternity leave, because those things will all be in place. Something that I really find annoying is, now I'm fortunate enough to not have to work a 9 to 5. and I recognize that privilege, of course. But when I was, working a 9 to 5 job, one thing that I definitely did see is how people were so casual about their dismissal with women and women who, are pregnant and need maternity leave. It was seen as such an inconvenience, and it's just like, but we are all here because a woman carried us. Like, so how are we not honoring women? How are we not putting things in place that they are safe, that they are taken care of? Like, if anything, we should be giving women even more time to recover, making sure that they are not under stress. But it's just like, no, but pregnant women don't give us the money that we need, because then we need to employ somebody else. And again, you just see like what our current society, who is still in charge in the society that we're living in.
And I mean, paternity leave as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like,
That would be cool.
it's not just like one person that has to look after the child.
And also, I mean, we're in the arts. It's really inspiring to see when there are women who they have to figure out for themselves, manage to design their lives and careers in a way that incorporates children into their work space. So not completely separating those two lives. Yeah, but I mean, this shouldn't just be a conversation that women have to have.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel we just this definitely is a lot of pressure put on women. And just the point that you made of why do we not have paternal leave? Why is that not a thing? Why is there not enough stress put on men to be helping? Like, it's not even that they need to help. It's your duty. It's your responsibility. There are two people who need to make a child. Even if it is done with a test tube, it's still two, like, entities. So we can't also just be expecting women to be doing all the work, but then, they should be, while they are pregnant, they should not be complaining. They shouldn't be getting too fat, because we just, God forbid we see a fat woman and it's like, oh my God, I'm
On stage.
yeah, kind of a deal, and she needs to be glowing, but she cannot breastfeed in public because that's absolutely disgusting. Cannot take any leave after actually, having maternity leave, because now you're expected to again fill this capital wage. So it's just like, can women, like, can we just have a fucking break? Like, we don't want to be superwoman. We don't want to be doing like all these things that society is always like, oh, women are strong, resilient. No, we're fucking tired is what we are.
Just like there's no option. You just have to do those things.
Exactly.
Yeah, and also, I mean, just economically, for most people, it's not possible to have a single income household and, maintain the kind of life that is expected if you have a certain career. You have to have two working parents.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially in today's economy, like, we can't just be relying on one person. And I think that is sometimes the misconception that I see with a lot of with the older generation, where they say, yeah, but in my day, it was possible for the woman to stay home because the man could go and work and do all of that. So we still kind of have this expectancy to be living in like the 1950s, where there was one breadwinner, but we're living in a completely different society, but with still those like older mentalities. So I honestly don't know when we are gonna come to the party, because the same thing when men say, this is wifey material.
Yeah, and
But-
that's people our own age. It's not the older generation saying that.
Yeah, like it's
That's
problematic
something
because
that-
then, like, okay, so wifey material, you want your woman to be independent, but you want her at a certain age, she now needs to act the way your mother did with your father. It's like,
But also be like so sexy.
yeah, like you should be a feminist, but don't be like an intersectional feminist, because then you are like just a bit too much, and you should be independent, but not to the point where you don't allow the man to still feel like the man in the relationship.
And also, oh my god, feminism and uplifting women, but in the context of a partner.
Thank you so much to my guests for their absolutely wonderful conversation. I hope you have enjoyed this episode as much as I have and enjoyed the absolutely beautiful scenery of